Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. And this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you've got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well, too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. It's Josh Allen that'll be orchestrating the offense, a 6'5" quarterback from Wyoming.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it in the middle of the schedule.
Check 319. Check 55. Come on. Let's go, defense.
Allen now on first down. Open man is the tight end, Nick Boyle. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that open things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
That throw good for 4. It's second down. And on this offensive unit, your thoughts on Travis Frederick?
He's a quarterback's best friend. Sets all the line calls and blocks so aggressively.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. To the air, Allen. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's third down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They're in the spot statistically that you don't want to be in against the pass. Number 32 in the league, dead last.
That was a nice play right there, but overall this season, it's been an absolute disaster. A total lack of communication on the back end. They need a leader who can put this team, this unit, on his shoulder pads and carry them to the right spots.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
So here are the Saints with a long field ahead. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it, in the middle of the schedule. Now Wilson on first down. The throw taken in by Cole. And he gets up near the 25 to about the 24 before going out of bounds. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And they work this well upfield across the 45. Good work after the catch, going to net them 23 and a first.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Give the sack to Aaron Lynch, the former USF Bull. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Here's Wilson. He'll find Paris Campbell. That's complete. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. The big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. The end result, 21 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal.
You can't block me. You can't block me. Shift. Got it. Hey, 0. Delta. I'm going to come back to you.
From the shotgun, Wilson. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Paris Campbell, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. On first down, they'll run with Hunt. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
That one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Flush to his right. Got an open man, Keelan Cole. And he is finally out of bounds across midfield at the 40-yard line. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. His throw over the middle, taken in by Cole. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Mike, 56, right there, 56.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson, that's caught by Hollister. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They find themselves just a couple of spots outside of the top 10 defending the pass, number 12 in the league.
I think if you talk to their head coach, you'll get a nice answer about how much he likes his team and what they're doing. But at the end of it, he would admit there's definitely room to improve.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
That's what I do. Back. Good job right there.
From the gun, it's Wilson. Got a man, it's Ross, complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. John Ross His 21st touchdown of the season. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Zerline connects on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right?
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Montez Sweat, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. Not able to get a single yard there, and it'll bring up 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. So the shotgun snap to Allen. He's going to look deep for more. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 37. A big play that time for Tampa Bay. 48 yards for an offense that has not found the end zone yet. That's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They'll run with Hunt on 2nd down. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. The Bucs on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Here's Allen. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now Wilson. Campbell making the catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And finding Keelan Cole. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 yards there, good for a Saints 1st down. Wilson now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10. Wilson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Catch made here by Campbell.
Wilson, easy work. It's easy work, and it's coming again. It's a gain of 6.
They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. From midfield now, here's Wilson being chased out left. And that will be incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about him.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, sometimes those cliches really come true, don't they, when they talk about it takes all 11 to play good defense. We've seen that in this ball game. I think the secondary has to be singled out, though. They are in the presence of every receiver whenever the ball is thrown, and this one they help force another incompletion.
And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those, too.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fool him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Quick hitter here, it's complete.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
He can run for it, and he will. The rushing numbers for Wilson maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Check. One set. Check, Mike, 54.
Operating from the gun. Wilson is going to let this go for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Wilson throwing again. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. Defense just has to hate those guys.
Just drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Throwing on first down is Allen. He'll get this one to Galladay. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he fires one that's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick six. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. Zerline good with a PAT, and the route is on here in this first half. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And they gave up the pick six, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
The throw there finding its way to Boyle. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And he completes it to Hunt. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Check 56. I got him. Gun. 56. Mike, 56.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Sacked there by Avery Williamson, the linebacker. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. To throw is Wilson. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Cole. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. The Bucs with an extra defender now in the secondary here on third down.
Four down. 56 to 5.
Here's Wilson. Got a man open. It's Ross. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. On first down, Wilson. He's going to have the hook up to Ross. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. No return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wilson. John Ross, the one he was looking for. And it's third down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. From the gun, Wilson. Forced out to his left. Open man is Ross, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big third down conversion with a gain of 28. So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 47. Throwing again here, Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Aaron Lynch able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Now a give coming right is Breida. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Good job right there. Good job right there. 56, Mike, 56. You don't want it. Pick up the ball.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Got an open man. That's Campbell. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Michael Kendricks, the linebacker, there to get him down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat.
And they're going to go jet sweep here. This is Ross with it. And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive.
14, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 4. Hey, get
From the shotgun, Wilson. Buying time to his left. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. Got to go back to a play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Unfortunately for you, you've been around me for a little while now, so you know me as well as anyone and how I look at a game. I don't ever advocate abandoning anything, but in this case, I'm going against my own thought process. You've got to change it up. You got to start throwing it around a little bit, finding ways to try and move the ball because keeping on the ground just isn't working for them.
Yeah, maybe get him the ball out of the passing game. A swing pass outside or something, just something to vary it up. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. He'll have a first down past the 40 and all the way up to the 45-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Allen off the play fake. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back.
54, right there, 54. Oh, you got D?
After the interception, here's Wilson. Got an open man, Keelan Cole.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about this training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, not able to find any yardage on that one.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. Now they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Now this throw caught left side. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. On first down, Hunt. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Crunch time, defense. Check, 45 to Mike. Check.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Allen. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? After they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly...
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Justin Houston, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Now, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now Wilson. He'll get this into the hands of Breida. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football.
Go. Mike, gun. 59. I'm coming. Watch. Hey, 0.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Dancing to his left. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of him, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. And I saw that lane start to develop. Boom, he took advantage of it. And just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. 8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They run again with Breida. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2, now Wilson. Campbell making the catch. And he will have a 1st down at about the 21-yard line. Quick slant there, gets him the 1st down, 6 yards on the play.
Go 14.
On 1st down, here's Breida. He finds some open field here. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
Wilson. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And 3 interceptions in this game. I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Quinnen Williams in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Here's Allen. And he's got the hook up to Moore. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down. The Bucs on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. From the gun, it's Allen. He'll leave it for Hunt, complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 40.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered everyone else, end up going to the running back out of the backfield, and he picks up a back-breaking first down.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off. You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And this one is right down the middle. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time. On the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Smooth. Switch it. Come on, switch it. Go.
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Eluding the pressure, and a big loss here as he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time.
Oh, the Bucs swarm in, and they block it. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it. I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet, or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it works very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
We got this.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out, and no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Ah, yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
Hey. Comes to me, it's me.
They'll try to pick this up on the ground with Breida. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a fourth down. Defense doing their job, really nowhere to run the football.
Yeah, it's almost textbook, wasn't it? Every place he tried to find an open spot, there just wasn't one. Congrats to the defense, no gain.
Call fitting your gaps, right?
I love it. You're exactly right.
And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride? Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward. Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. On first down, Allen. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right? And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way. Looking to throw again on second down. Allen, and he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in there now.
Throwing on first down is Allen. He's going to let it fly. It got his man complete. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. After the big play, a chance to finish now on first and goal. Again, they'll throw with Allen. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor, in effect. 5 plays there on that drive. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here. Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
Let's go. 70, Indy.
But, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense. They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them. And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work. That's called being in the zone. So for New Orleans, the win here means it'll be a 7-1 first half of the season. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, they'll fall to 5-3 with a loss. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.